Hey guys, welcome back to Point Shift Drive. I'm Nick Saros, and what you see behind me here is the 2016 to 2018 Ford Focus RS. It is true, finally the US actually got a version of the Focus RS, which has been in Europe for many years, and I'm very excited to get into it. This particular model actually has a Cobb Stage 1 tune on it, so I'm definitely going to make some commentary on that. See if you guys, if you have one of these cars, should you actually buy that or not? So stay tuned, we're going to go for a ride right now. That sound sounds so good. It's so rally, man. It's amazing. Those crackle and pops behind you, they just, what they're basically doing is rewarding you. You get the line right, and you get that lift off the throttle, and they just pop, pop, pop. Oh, that's great. Man, that is fantastic. I mean, guys, if I'm being a little quiet at times, it's because there's so much going on in this driving experience that I actually got to pay attention, because we're moving pretty damn quick. Wow! I cannot believe how much grip there is. These are just the stock, I think these are Dunlop tires. I mean, really impressive. I mean, if you had something a little bit more aggressive, I mean, that's a perfect track ready car out of the box with a warranty. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, there we go. This thing redlines just under 7,000 RPM, and you can tell that, you know, the power drops off just a little bit at the top, but it's tuned really well to be enjoyable in the bands that are closest to you during regular driving. And look, I mean, I wouldn't call this race car-like, but canyon carver is a great descriptive term for this car. Oh man, okay. My ears are popping from the pressure changing in the cabin. That was great. All right, guys, so first driving impressions. I'll say, you know, the cabin feels like it's I mean, it really is wrapped around the driver. There's a lot going on here with, you know, the dash itself is really long. I feel like it's too long, but it just wraps around you. It feels very driver-centric, which is great. I don't know if this is a good family car or not. I mean, the owner of this vehicle has a young child. He has a car seat normally that he puts in the back, and that works out, but there's just not a lot of room for passengers. I think if you're just driving this as a commuter car, or it's your only vehicle, I think you're going to be reasonably happy with it, because it does provide that balance of fun driving, and at the same time, it feels like a special place to be. I just wish there was a little bit more practicality inside, but so far, I'm really enjoying, you know, the attention that Ford put into making the car feel like it's a well-built car, and then put a lot of the funds towards the things that matter, like you know, the brake systems being really sharp, the motor feels really strong, the all-wheel drive system is a welcomed thing. So far, so good. All right, so here is a nice view of the interior, and one of the good things here is that Ford, in conjunction with Recaro, obviously they came up with some nice looking seats. It's got some great bolstering, and I really do like the suede here. The one complaint though that a lot of drivers have is that, as you can see, the height that this seat sits from is a little bit too high. It doesn't really make you feel like you're part of the car as much. I think if this had been dropped maybe 3 or 4 inches, which I know is a lot, but that would have done wonders for the ergonomics of the car and also the driving dynamics. But of course, like, it's still amazing that Ford would even, you know, venture down this path and create a really, really nice package at an affordable price. But I think that is definitely one area that I think they could have improved upon. Now that I've had time to actually drive the car and experience it, I want to share with all of you my thoughts on it, and hopefully help you guys make a decision on whether you're looking to buy one of these off the used market, pick up any one of the new ones that might still be sitting in showrooms, or just considering a car enthusiast car of a similar sort. So first, I will say that the driving experience overall, especially when you're pushing it, is a good one. I mean, that's no surprise. You got all-wheel drive that's really, really intuitive. I think there's probably a little bit of magic going on, because, you know, sometimes that car felt like it was going around a corner like a cat on Velcro, and it was hard for me to explain whether or not it was, you know, the vectoring of the vehicle, or if it was something amazing I was doing. But it felt amazing, and I think that's really key. Also, it's a 6-speed manual. That's becoming more and more rare these days, especially from Ford, considering they've vowed to not make cars anymore, except for like the Mustang. Everything else is going to be more or less an SUV or a truck. Now, I think moving forward, the industry is going to continue going to that trend, which makes cars like this more rare. This is a vehicle that probably isn't one to invest in terms of, you know, you can't expect like you're not going to see depreciation, but who knows, maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, this car will actually be worth a lot more money than you think. The flip side is it does have some cons today. The biggest one is the suspension. I played with the settings as much as I could, but I think the springs from the factory are just a little oversprung. And this particular one was a 2016. I'm not sure if the 2018s were revised or not, but I'd be willing to bet they probably toned them down just a little bit. There is another fix though. So don't worry. You could go get the KWDDC coilover kit, specifically designed for the RS. I think it retails for right around $3,400, but it's plug in and play, and it works with your onboard computers, so you can still change between drive modes, and it solves the challenge with the bumpiness. The only other thing I experienced while driving the car was that the turning radius, not super great. But when you think about it, the Ford Focus initially was not designed to be all-wheel drive, so not super surprising. And really a small price to pay considering you get a really good all-wheel drive system and that monster turbo. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Nick Saros from Point Shift Drive. Looking forward to the next one. In the meantime, if this video was enjoyable, please like or subscribe. Comments down below as always, and I'll see you guys next time.